was diagnosed with breast cancer at age 21.
I got diagnosed at the age of 23 with stage 3 inflammatory breast cancer.
I was diagnosed with breast cancer at age 37.
I was diagnosed at 24.
I was only 36. I didn't even know that that could happen.
I didn't even know it was cancer.
Everything that I read online said if it's painful, it's not breast cancer. That cancer doesn't hurt.
And they pretty much told me that it didn't look like anything serious.
I remember thinking, it's silly. Obviously, it's a cyst. Why am I worrying about this?
And the gynecologist said to me, "You're 24, you have absolutely nothing to worry about."
I'm 37 years old, fairly healthy.
I'm 23. How in the world can a 23-year-old get cancer? It's mind-blowing to me.
And I started finding out about all these women that were being diagnosed really young, even 19-year-olds and stuff.
Some people might think why would you freak out? You're only 21. Why would a 21-year-old think they have breast cancer?
So they sent me for a mammogram and an MRI.
A mammography and an ultrasound.
She did a sonogram, a mammogram. Everything came back negative.
They called me back in.
"We really need you to come in the office tomorrow, and it would be a good idea to bring someone."
I got a call as I was going to work.
That was the moment I understood that it could be cancer.
I come back for the results.
And that's the point I kind of felt maybe I should be a little bit nervous.
Yeah, I pretty much remember her telling me hey, you have cancer. And she said it so cold, with no type of emotion.
All I had to say to her was, "It's cancer, isn't it?" And she just nodded her head yes.
Yeah, I was kind of just waiting for someone to tell me or try to prepare me, but no one really did that. I really just wanted to know what are the next steps.
I couldn't run away from cancer. There was no way I could not worry about the future or know if there was a future.
It was just too much. I didn't feel like I could handle it. I felt ugly. I felt insecure. I felt like I was alone.
I started coming to meetups in 540, and I started meeting other girls that were doing the same type of chemo that I was doing, and they still had hair. And I remember thinking, they look so normal. And that was so important to me, just realizing that this is just a short period of time in our lives.
I was introduced to a 5 under 40 and met some phenomenal women, which is now a sisterhood.
I came and I seen all these beautiful faces. Pretty much I heard everyone sharing their story. It was this is where I can get that sign of courage, strength, the happiness that I yearn for.
I remember getting the news about the diagnosis and just wanting to see and meet other women in my age group. I needed some reassurance that my life would be normal again.
And to try and find other women that just get what you're going through, that can give you advice, whether it be what treatments to do or how do you just feel like a normal person on a daily basis.
I spent a lot of time researching wigs online and spent a ton of money, and they just didn't fit my head or look right. So I had no wigs to wear. I couldn't tie a head wrap. I had spoken with Jennifer numerous times on the phone, but hadn't met her yet. She grabbed me and gave me a big hug, and she's like, you look absolutely beautiful bald, but if you want me to take you for a wig, I'm happy to do so. And I was like, heck yeah, can we go right away? 2 days later, she picked me up from my house and brought me to Bits and Pieces, where they gave me this beautiful human hair wig, perfectly fit to my head, cut it for me there and everything. I just remember looking in the mirror, and for the first time, I saw Jackie again.
I ended up going to the emergency room where they admitted me for a toxicity in the lungs due to chemotherapy. I was there during Thanksgiving week, and it just felt like everything was spiraling out of control. While I was there in the hospital, Jennifer, actually the founder of 540, she called me and she's like, "Hey, I heard you're in the hospital. How are you? I want to see you." Meanwhile, I just met her 2 weeks ago, and I'm just like, "Why do you want to see me?" Her and Bob, they came, they brought me magazines, they brought me snacks, they stood with me for a few hours, and I was just so thankful. Such a negative thing turned into a positive. Each of us has a different story. Each of us are going through different things.
We have different types of breast cancer. We have different stages and, different symptoms.
Woo, I love you girls. Gorgeous.
But at the end of the day, it's the diagnosis that we all have that common bond together.
Young women need to know that there are other women who are like you and who can relate to you, and you're not alone.
I got so much love and support from people that I got connected with through 5 Under 40. I can't sit here in front of this camera and say I did this all by myself.
And through 5 Under 40, I've met other women who are even younger than myself, 23, 21. And it's so important for them to feel like there's hope at the end of this. My hope is that I can give them hope.
The people that I have met because of it will be in my life forever.
My last chemo, they showed up with like this big card that said, "Congratulations, Valerie, on your last chemo." And those hours were like so hard for me, just sitting there and just these girls that I barely knew. They took time out of like their lives. I remember thinking this has been such a horrible experience in general. And if I had to choose one good thing, it has been 5 Under 40. This going forward is something that's going to help me not put my story out there, but also have other women see that they'll be okay. There's beauty even in the worst moments of your life.